I heard that last night. It was better the second time around. That was great. Way to go, Dano. Way to go, Dano! Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry? Oh, sure. Should we bring Dan back up? Are you sure? We're going to show some we're going to show some pictures from the crush pile. We're going to show some Merrimack pictures. I mean, bar none, that was the funnest wedding ever. That was awesome.
Hey, what's up with the block?
I believe the individual who was being referred to in the prior segment, Jim Green, referred to as Jim Green's white ass. Irish white ass will come up and, well,
I gotta go get my guitar and a shot of penicillin evidently.
are you leaving? Green, you come back?
I'll be back. Yeah, just go on to the next
Okay.
victim.
You did know up until I just woke you up that you were speaking, right? Bye, Jim. Thanks for coming, buddy. All right, I guess Jim's going to come back. I guess I'll just I'll jump into my bit then while we're waiting for Jim. I came across a help wanted ad in the Concord Monitor. I had to go to the library and dig through some microfiche, but I was able to dig this out. It's an old ad that Doug and Carolyn had run back a few years ago before they started importing their labor. And I thought it was, I mean, it's not that much different than any other help wanted ad you'd find in the paper, but I just thought that a few things jumped out at me and I thought you would all appreciate it. So I'm going to run through it real quick while we wait for Jim to come back, although I'm going to say 50-50 at best. He makes it back. So here it is, help wanted. Concord, New Hampshire Landscape Company seeks skilled or unskilled labor with a pulse. Must have a basic understanding of what grass is and where it comes from. Considered a plus if you know which end of the rake to drag along the surface of the ground. It is not necessary that you be able to operate equipment, but must possess enough common sense to get the hell out of the way when it is headed straight at you. It is not necessary that you are able to read or write, as long as you are able to use an alarm clock and master which exit number on Route 93 you are supposed to take to get to the job site. It is a plus if the candidate has a minimum of 8 fingers. You will be credited 2 fingers for each thumb you possess. You should have a minimum of 1 eye and 1 ear. This is important because you will likely lose 1 of each during your first summer. At least 1 tooth would be a plus, but please keep in mind you will need to maintain that tooth yourself, as we do not offer dental coverage. We will make absolutely no exceptions for one-legged candidates, unless their prosthesis is made of a rust-proof metal which would allow them to work through torrential downpours. It is considered a huge plus if you could keep your urinating and bowel movements to one per day. Any candidate willing to wear a diaper and poop and pee in their pants while working will be considered a legend and will receive a plaque on the shop's wall of fame. You must be able to endure 14 to 16-hour work days. That is until business picks up in the summer. I lost my place. I really did. Here we go. You will be heckled and referred to as a pussy if you punch out before 10 p.m. in order to grab a completely unnecessary 5 hours of sleep before your next 16-hour workday. You will be given no vacation time and no sick days, and absolutely no sympathy for any injury incurred while on the job. Please keep in mind you will be working for an idiot who once crushed his thumb with a sledgehammer because he wanted to see what it would look like if it was flat. In the event that you are unfortunate enough to ride to a job site with the owner, said knucklehead, you must be mentally strong enough to endure extended exposure to Barry Manilow and Jay Giles. As hard as it is to fathom, the owner still believes these to be current and relevant artists. You must be willing to accept the fact that your team manager, Spanky, thinks you are nothing more than a useless piss ant. And we just assume crap in your lunch bag. Just look at you. It is also important that you are thick-skinned enough to embrace a demeaning nickname that you will undoubtedly be referred to for the rest of your natural effing life. For example, Spanky, Pinky, Pop-Tart, Benny, which is short for Benoit Obi Kenobi, New Guy, Rhea, which is short for diarrhea. These are actual nicknames. Stretchy Balls, PB, which is short for Potato Boy, Rodeo, Lord only knows what that's for, Lily, Chief, Pickles. By the way, I was supposed to ask you to stand up if you were in the room, but most of you are standing. How about sit down, if I say the nickname? Jumbie, nice enough to give his own son that nickname. Kid probably had a few extra pounds, he started calling him Jumbie. Thanks, Dad. Pickles, Crazy, Tutu, Skippy, Mrs. Skippy, that's not very creative, Schmitty, Hannah Bobana. Is she the one that was having sex in the pool? Are they here tonight? That was a funny story. Carolyn was... I can't go there? Okay. I won't get into it, but she was so mortified that she watched for 45 minutes. I went out at 8, there were 2 people having sex in the pool. They were still doing it at 9. Yeah, I'm sorry. Erase all that from your memory. Jury strike that statement. Where did I leave off? I'll just go back to the beginning. Is that okay? Roy Boy, Danny East. You are standing? Where are you? Danny Roy, Cobosaurus, Kita Bonafart, Baby D, I'm sorry. Knucklehead, Smiley, Jackaroo, and Caesar. That's it for the nicknames. Those are the ones we could recall. So picking up where I left off, finally the company rules, and there's only 5, but you have to adhere to these rules to work for Thomson Lawn Care. And the way that it read in the article, it said, although